I cannot believe it's the last day.
It wasn't even 6 a.m. before I saw the first wreck. It's gonna be a long day today.
Waking up and getting on the bike is always the hardest part of the day.
This is the hardest part of the day, is getting on the bike for the first time. Just one last time. Ooh. Nice and sore.
I'm sure when we're having fun in some of the towns today, I'll be more sad that today's the last day, but right now, I'm pretty happy it is. Although I will miss all the people. For the last 6 days, we have been riding our bikes across Iowa in an event called RAGBRAI. So far, we have cycled 398 miles, and today we will have the most climb in elevation of any day yet. One of us will eat the pavement, our gear will break, and our emotions will reach the limit as we pedal the last 65.5 miles to the finish line at the Mississippi River. We started our final day of RAGBRAI by riding 10 miles from West Union to Elgin. This had to be the most beautiful sunrise we've had all week. Holy moly. Here we go. Day 7. We're off.
Ooh. If it looks like I'm crying, I don't know if it's because we just went downhill and it's the cold wind in my eyes.
It's so freaking cold.
Or if it's the beautiful Iowan scenery. This is awesome. Man, I'm gonna miss these sunrises for sure.
I'm so scared that someone's going down bad today. We got some steep downhills. There went the ambulance. He didn't appear to be in a hurry though, so that's good. The sun feels good. Nothing like a hill in the morning. It's still in the 50s, but as the sun comes up, it should get warmer. I told my legs we just have one more day. 66 miles. Less than that now. Only 65 miles. Slow and steady wind today. Last night at dinner, we were waiting in line to get dinner, and there was some people behind us, and they were talking about how dangerous the last downhill to the Mississippi River is going to be because it's so steep. There's red flashing lights. It smells quite bad. Not all the time, but part of the time. Just where there's like these little farms that have chicken houses, cattle yards, or pigs. They have a lot of them. Last day, best day, right? That's what I am claiming today. We made it down our first major downhill. My hands were hurting so bad because it was not straight either, so I wasn't about to just like fly and not break at all, but we made it. Now we're in Elgin. Because we weren't super sure if we were going to finish on time, we kept moving right through Elgin, another 7 miles to Gundar. Well, we got a sip of water and we're not stopping in this town. We're going to the next. Not too far into our ride, we hit the first major summit.
Climbing the first summit.
Let's just say there were more people walking their bikes up this hill than not. I would actually prefer to call it a mini mountain. That sign said, "Huffin' and puffin', stop for a muffin." Need someone to come by with music about now.
We got a downhill sign coming up. All right, now we get to go downhill. We made it to town number 2.
Once we made it to Gundar, we quickly ate a snack and we're back on the road to the final lunch town of Postville. We were pleasantly surprised to see the big green inflatable on the horizon, and we knew we had to make one last stop at our favorite roadside place.
One last stop at the pickle stand for old time's sake.
David and our friends here at What's the Deal Yo, they're just the best. This is my favorite stop on RAGBRAI. After we enjoyed our last RAGBRAI ice cream, we were back on the road to Postville where TJ had a little accident.
I don't have clip-in pedals, but that's probably what it feels like. I couldn't get my shoe out of the pedal.
Welcome to the group.
That totally happened.
What happened?
I fell off my bike.
What?
I guess it was bound to happen at some point.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like you're really okay?
Yeah. My hands hurt because
I'm so sorry. I'm glad you have those gloves on.
Me too. These are great investments.
Yeah. I'm sorry you fell off your bike.
Yesterday, the backs of my knees were stinging, like there was a bug biting me. I think it was just the sun burning the backs of my knees. I'm gonna be sure and put sunscreen on the backs of my knees.
One last sunscreen.
I feel like a lot of RAGBRAI is spent like wiping just various liquids and goos all over your body to make sure that you don't get burnt and that your skin doesn't rub itself raw. Riding a bike across Iowa with a bunch of grease and goo on your body.
That is so gross.
Yeah.
I hope I never smell chamois butter for a very long time after this.
And we haven't showered in a while.
We smell awful. Like, we stopped in the last town for just a minute to get a drink of water and a snack, and I was like, I smell so bad. Like, we were outside and I can smell myself. That it is that bad. And I mean, we've only had 2 showers this week, and we pulled into town and I rolled up next to where my dad was standing, and he was in the middle of saying something, and then he stops and goes, "You smell really bad."
He like, told you smelled bad?
Yeah. Yeah. We've been putting BioFreeze on our backs and achy muscles the past several days. And TJ, I was putting it on his shoulder, and he's like, "Can you do the other shoulder?" And then he's like, "Can you go down my spine?" I was like, "Why don't you just cover your whole body in it?"
It's good stuff. On a more serious note though, the support drivers of RAGBRAI deserve like the utmost respect. Like, the riders get to ride and have fun and, you know, do all the tents and the food and, you know, just enjoy the countryside, and the support drivers are just like constantly working the whole time. From the time we get up, David is, you know, preparing our bikes, putting our tent away, getting things packed up. He drives to the next town, you know, gets the van ready, walks at least like half a mile to meet us at the course, and then we eat lunch, and then he's gonna drive to the next town, you know, and do the same thing, and then he goes to bed after we do, and it's just a completely thankless job. And so I don't know how we can express our appreciation. Mary Catherine's dad has been the best this week, and we're super thankful he's with us. I 1000% echo all of that. We've talked to a lot of people that have done RAGBRAI for many, many years, and like the first year they did it without a support driver, and they've actually hired support drivers since then if they don't have a volunteer do it, because it's that important. It makes that big of a difference to have somebody driving a support vehicle for you. But like TJ said, it's not an easy job. We're thankful for that. And we only have like 40 more miles, so it could be a hard 40, but here we go. TJ? Where'd it go?
Oh, it's inside it's still clipped in.
Oh.
My helmet broke.
That happened when you fell over?
I think so. Maybe. We're only 40 miles from the end. Nothing can break. Man, if I would have known this, I would have been doing this while you guys were at the bathroom.
Do you need that thing?
Yeah. All right. Rootin' tootin'. Ready to start scooting.
Scooting is a good description of what I'm doing today.
Got it. Ready to go.
I don't know why, but I'm like so nervous all of a sudden. I think I've just really psyched myself out over the hills that we're climbing today. And it just feels like the 40 miles we have to do to the end feels like harder than the 105 we did the other day. One pedal after another. Making progress towards each mile with every pedal. That's what I'm telling myself. We signed up to do a hard thing because we can do a hard thing, and we're going to do a hard thing. We're literally about to finish, so that's what's giving me energy right now. It's like, when we're done, and we completed it. So okay, let's go.
Love you all.
Love you too.
Good afternoon.
See you in Lansing. All right, I've done a really crappy job at updating the camera this morning. Just shy of halfway for today. The hills have been brutal today. Just absolutely brutal, up and down. I'm exhausted. My legs don't want to work anymore. Like every day, it's like, yeah, just a little bit more. Not today. They are over it. We're gonna make it. But everything's tired and everything hurts.
back on the bikes after the last midtown.
I have such mixed emotions right now. We are leaving the last midtown. We ate our last PB&J lunch. Ooh, miss.
Here we go. Woo!
That's nice.
That was great. Nice little mist.
We have like 40 miles left, which feels like forever. And at the same time, it's like we're only 40 miles from the end. I keep telling myself, like my dad reminded me at lunch, this week we've been a second half team. So it's gonna be a good afternoon.
Tracks.
Holy moly. That was almost really bad. It wasn't long after leaving Postville that we hit our next major incline.
We've started the ascent.
And the next 18 miles to walk on was all uphill and definitely pushed us to our limits.
Oh.
I just feel like I'm pedaling through sand right now.
Yeah.
It's just like, it hasn't been this hard yet.
Yeah.
We're so close.
Yeah.
It's so freaking hard right now.
You're good?
Yeah.
You sure? You ready?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I'm ready to be done.
Yeah? Let's keep moving forward then.
TJ just told me we are over halfway done with today, and that is some good news.
We just met some folks from Bentonville, Arkansas. We've been coasting for like 4 miles now. I know at any moment we're gonna have to pay for this.
Town before the end. We've just been climbing for miles. A little on the bike, a little walking the bike, a little on the bike, a little walking the bike. Walk on. Is it your birthday?
Yes.
Happy birthday! We finally made it to Waukon, our last town before the ending town of Lansing. It's so quiet compared to other towns we've come through.
Either this is a large town and we missed like the RAGBRAI stuff, or it's just kind of like
It's just kind of like, last day, almost there. We took a break to refuel, but we knew we couldn't stay long because our window to finish on time was quickly approaching and we still had 20 miles of hills to go.
I'm about to do one of these. The last time I had one of these, I like gagged because they taste so bad. But I felt pretty good after I had it, so here we go.
I can't watch.
Oh. Just gotta do it. Oh. Done. Oh, gotta eat something else.
Here, have some chips.
MK was using the restroom in a gas station over there, and a guy came up to me and he was like, y'all getting ready to finish? And I was like, yeah. He goes, last 20 miles. I was like, yeah. He's like, good thing the climbing is over. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, I just finished like an hour or so ago and got a shower and I'm backtracking, back through Iowa now. And I was like, well, what do you mean the climbing? He's like, all the big climbs are done. It's just rolling hills from here down to Lansing. And I was like, really? So that really inspired me. We decided collectively that we trust him 50% of the way.
Simply because it's 1:30 and he's already done and showered and like partway back up the route.
Which means he's probably really good or he's delusional and doesn't remember the route between here and Lansing. So it's kind of motivating. So we're gonna hop on and try to get it done.
Right now, and what's been really hard about the past like 20 miles is that, like, I'm not in that much pain, but my whole body is exhausted. Like, I literally have worked my muscles to the point of them like they can't go any further.
They don't work anymore.
Like my fine motor skills and my fingers, like I can't open a water bottle, like a screw top one. My legs feel like jello, legitimately. I mean, I've never felt this. It's awesome, but it's also like, we have 20 more miles. Come on, body.
Ready to be done. Getting there. All right, let's move. Also, if you were wondering why we didn't have a lot of footage from walk-on, it's because there's not a lot here. Either one or two things. People are just ready to be done and there just wasn't a lot here to begin with, or we're riding in too late and they've already taken everything down. So we're gonna keep going to Lansing. We literally pedaled like 100 more feet and the Boy Scouts were handing out free water. I feel like that's happened a couple times this week, where we go and buy water from somewhere and then just a little bit more, they've got free water.
This lady was standing in her front yard back there and she was waving and she said, it's all downhill from here.
See that sign?
Mostly. That sign back there said Lansing, 19 miles.
We passed several signs that said it was all downhill from here, and while that wasn't quite true, we gave it everything we had, and it was in these last 20 miles that our bodies started to give up on us.
I think that guy and I have different definitions of climbing.
Completely different definitions of steep hills. Got to the top of this hill, and look, another hill.
These hills today are just brutal. I'm walking again. Can't totally feel my toes or the tip of this finger on my right hand. I think we're like 10 or 12 miles from the very end. It just seems like forever away.
I've noticed in a lot of the towns that we've been in, a lot of the locals keep telling us it's all downhill from here. I think they're full of corn. You can do it!
Thank you. So close.
That sign back there just said Lansing, 10 miles. Just 10 miles standing in between us and being done.
Thank goodness there was a watermelon stand in the middle of nowhere.
The sign said watermelon.
The magic watermelon was exactly what we needed to pick our spirits up and get back on the bike.
Last chapstick. We have like 9 miles. Less than 10 left. Let's do this.
Bike on for the last time.
Next stop, Lansing.
Unfortunately, the watermelon didn't last long and the fatigue started to creep in again.
More hills. I have really enjoyed my time this week on my bike, getting to know new people, hanging out in the overnight towns and all the little towns in between. But I'm ready for this to be over. The sag is full, headed to Lansing. Held out this long, just a little further.
This is gonna sound so strange, but my feet feel like I don't have socks on, and I have very good socks on. It just feels like they're in the tennis shoes with no socks. It's so strange. Weird things are happening.
The only thing that kept us going was the thought that with every pedal, the mighty Mississippi was a little bit closer. And then we hit it.
That sign back there said last hill.
I'm not sure I believe it,
Doubt it.
but I hope it was.
I doubt it. According to my watch, we have less than 2 miles left. This looks like a good downhill.
Welcome to Lansing. Oh my gosh. That's the first Lansing sign we've seen.
The major downhill that everyone talked about the whole week. With a decrease of almost 700 feet of elevation, it felt like we were flying. It actually felt like we could fall and eat the pavement at any moment, but we had to keep going. We didn't want to risk burning our brakes out.
I'm gonna need some new brakes after this.
Knowing that we were speeding toward Lansing, the anticipation grew and grew. And then we saw it.
I think I see civilization.
The Lansing sign. Oh my gosh.
The river's on our right.
There's the river. Oh my gosh.
I've never been so happy to see the Mississippi River in my life.
I knew this would happen. I knew it makes me go cry when I got here.
Heck yeah! Only one thing left to do.
All we gotta do now is dip our tires in the river.
We made it 462 miles from border to border. We rode our bikes across Iowa. In RAGBRAI tradition, we dipped our tires in the Mississippi River and we're done. The past 7 days have been the ride of a lifetime. We pushed our bodies to their limits. We tried new things and new food. We met incredible people, and most importantly, we created another golden memory on the 50 States Tour. We are so thankful for the opportunity to ride in the 49th annual RAGBRAI. After celebrating with root beer floats, we loaded up the bikes and headed toward our 22nd state of Wyoming.
It really hurts.